Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Nevertheless Commentaries. I am your host, Sipon of Sipon Sports, your favorite Ank on the Black Italian himself. I am saying pronto buonasera, pronto buongiorno. Kaizer Chiefs 1, Zamalek 2. I've pleaded with the Kaizer Chiefs. As I've said, Kaizer Chiefs, please go to Egypt and make us proud as South Africans. Just go there and get a draw and go through to the next phase and make us proud as a South African. I've pleaded with the Kaizer Chiefs to actually make us proud as South Africans. But they went there and just disappointed us. What they needed is a draw for them to make it to the next phase. But they failed to get a draw. They went on and lose their game with 2 goals. 2-1, they went there, they approached their game with 4-5-1. That's what their approach was, and you could see that's 4-5-1. Possibly a defensive approach a little bit, but at the same time, if you look at the player like Ndlovu and Nomabowe, you know that those are players who actually love to drive the game moving forward, and also play more on the wingers. Also, Lepo like to play out wide, at least going front. So it was a defensive approach, but at the same time, you could see that their strategy was to actually let Ulilepo on the other side to actually drive down the line and actually whipping those crosses. And on the other side, they were hoping that Pulemodi will do the same with Ndlovu joining in support of Silva and also Umabowe or Umatlo, depending on who's going and who's staying. So that was the approach. On the other hand, Zamalek was approaching the game with 4-3-3 with Echo Abdelam, Wen Sazan, Juan Alv, Ismail, Shahata Sharif, Mensi and the back. So Kaizer Chiefs on the first half, line-up yabo mabubabuka Umunyana, Ukwinika, Umsimanga, Umako. His defense yabo was changed. I don't know why, because they have a solid defensive, I think on past 3 games, but it wasn't that lineup. So Umako wasn't there, also Umunyana wasn't there. So the defense setup altogether. But today they decided to change that approach, and also in the middle they decided to introduce Umatlo. I don't know why they did that, but actually it worked on the first half, and I thought it was a matter of frustrating Zamalek, which we're playing at home. But then on the second half, I thought they were going to make changes and bring in skillful players, dynamic players who were going to actually take on the Ama defenders, Zamalek, to actually frustrate them. Likes of Mfuno Vilgazum, Augustine Cirilo, I was hoping that on the second half they were going to introduce, probably take out Matlo as soon as the first half begins, and bring in a more dynamic player, take out Modi and bring in a more skillful player. It's either you take out Silva or Lilepo, also bring in somebody who's very, very dynamic and skillful, because we know that the team from the northern side struggles with about skillful. So that's what I was hoping the coaches of Kaizer Chiefs were going to do, but it wasn't the case. Upen Yusuf with Ukaze, it wasn't the case for them. They actually came back on the second half with the same approach, which was very, very dangerous, and it proved quickly to be dangerous as Zamalek find a goal with the Brazilian. It was a very, very beautiful goal. A 22-year-old Brazilian who wore, I think he wore a jersey number 10. I forgot what's the name of that guy. What the name? No, not El Said. What the name of that guy is? Juan Alvina, who scored the first goal. Very, very beautiful goal. They won the ball in the middle and spread it out wide, and then Lila Finder, I think it was Mansi, who pulled in a beautiful cross, and Nasir Tangana Juan Alvina, who Olvalene team, right in front of Umunyana. I think it was a poor defense with Kaizer Chiefs in terms of Ukwiniga, because when they played that ball, he shifted with the ball to the side, but not pressing enough or not pressing enough Umansi to actually make sure that he doesn't whip in the cross, because Umansi is an out-and-out striker. He moved with Ukwiniga to the side, and also Umako was nowhere to be found there to actually assist in making sure that, because as a fullback, his primary job is to defend, and in defending is to make sure that Ama wingers of the opponents doesn't whip in those crosses. Umsebenzi kaMako as a fullback, but he wasn't to be found there, and also Ukwiniga, who was dragged by Umansi, also didn't press him enough to make sure that he denies him time and space to actually whip in that cross, but it happened. And then Umoyana was late in terms of marking Ujuan Alvina. I don't know Tumsima, but he's one of the players who lost the ball alongside Motlo Mapo. Begin a mix Masala Lapaya, and then they were punished 1-0. 1-0. Okay, they are losing now. I thought, okay, they will pick up their socks and actually try and actually score a goal to actually equalize, because they needed a draw. Kaizer Chiefs needed a draw, but it wasn't to be, because not long after that, Zamalek came back and also gotten a second goal by El Said, who came in for Sheriff. The player was introduced at the beginning of the second half. He scored a goal, and it was a screamer of a goal. But at the same time, if you look at the goalkeeper, the Chiefs didn't even move to try actually and save that ball. He just stood, waited to actually shout at the players who actually were guilty of not keeping their position, which saw that player actually receiving the ball right inside the box, free. So El Said scored the second goal. So it wasn't over, because it was still around, I think it was around 60 something minutes. So Kaizer Chiefs came back and scored the first goal with Ulilepo. It was a beautiful corner that he was whipped by Umaboe. And then Ulilepo scored a header. But speaking about the second goal that was considered by Kaizer Chiefs, I think Undlovu was injured, and then he limped off the field. Before he even get up, he said he needs to be changed, and then when he get up, he limped off the field. So Kaizer Chiefs should have introduced a substitution immediately, because they brought in Umabaso. I thought they were going to introduce a player immediately as soon as Undlovu goes out, because the game was very, very not really balanced. So if they are short in numbers in the field of play, they were bound to be punished, with exactly what happened. Because when Omabo Benomatlo lost that ball, they were out of shape, because they being a, and then they were punished. But then they introduced Umabaso, and then the game was a little bit balanced, and then the Kaizer Chiefs looked like they were going to score, which they did score. And I thought they were going to introduce more dynamic players as probably as 65 to 70th minute at least. But they waited. They waited a really, really long time, because they introduced, the only player that was introduced a little bit early, it was Usireno Foromatlo. But later on, they introduced Umabasa, because Undlovu went out limping. And on the 70th minute, they introduced Umaya Foro Silva. The only time they introduced a dynamic player, it was on the 81st minute, Bego Mfundo Vilakazi. I was hoping that we also going to see Umtu, because if Bego Mfundo Vilakazi go Kono Sirino, and also Umtu, I think with their creativity, there was something that the Chiefs might have done in terms of trying and actually dismantling that solid defense of Zamalek. But it wasn't to be for Amakosi. Now they are knocked out of the championship. So they went to today's games as the log leaders, but when the game ended, they were number 3. So Zamalek, which is the Egyptian side, and also Al Mazari, the Egyptian side, are going through. So Zamalek has 11 points. Al Mazari has 10 points, and also Kaizer Chiefs has 10 points. But the goal difference matters basically, because Al Mazari has +2, which have scored 9 goals and conceded 7. On the other hand, Kaizer Chiefs has scored only 7 goals and conceded 6. So it's +1 for Kaizer Chiefs and +2 for Al Mazari. In that case, Al Mazari is going through to the last 8, and the Kaizer Chiefs has been knocked out. So their sole focus now, Kaizer Chiefs, is on the Betway Premiership in next few days. That's what I think they will look forward to, because that's the only thing that they can play for this season. They are knocked out on all competitions. The only thing that they can have, if they can actually win all their remaining games, their next game they are playing is Uwelele ngolwesithathu by 7:30. I'm hoping that they actually win that game, and then they are following a game over the weekend. No, next week it's versus Stellenbosch. I'm hoping also they will do well on that game, and then towards the end of the month, on the 28th, they are playing the Orlando Pirates. It's going to be a derby, a very, very interesting derby. Njengoba sibona ukuthi iPirates ayigayelwa mpako, And also, Kaizer Chiefs is decent if you look at their run with Betway Premiership so far. So that's what happened for the Kaizer Chiefs. Hard luck to Amakosi. You guys, it was on your hands, but you let the ball roll away. So you have nobody to blame but yourselves. I hope it wasn't to be for Kaizer Chiefs. So if the only thing that they can do is to try to remain in top 3 Betway Premiership so that they get another chance coming next season with CAF Confederations Cup or with CAF Champions League, depending on where they end as far as the league is concerned. But if they end outside the top 3, they will not get a chance to actually go and play with Champions League or with CAF Confederations Cup. I'd like to Amakosi. It was a beautiful game, a well-anticipated encounter, but it wasn't to be from Amakosi. I'd like to y'all, from me to you, I'm saying Apronto Pia Seri. Thank you, everybody, for actually tuning in, and your subscription help us grow a lot. Tell us what you think of the Kaizer Chiefs game. From me to you, Sipho Ndlovu, Sipho on Spot. This is Nevertheless Commentaries. We will see you on the next one. Thank you.